What do you tend to prefer to do? To record the band one day and then do the harp and the vocals, or get everyone recording in the same room?
I have a real hard time overdubbing with my timing, with the music coming through headphones. I have a hard time really feeling it on the beat. I'll rush or I'll lag or I'll get off beat a little bit. So what I like to do is cut the harp solos live with the band and then overdub the vocals, because you can do the vocals a million times, you know. And I found not only does it sound better, but it feels better too. It feels more live, you know, like the band will respond to each other if you're actually taking a solo instead of they're just imagining that you're taking a solo, you know, which, you know, is cool too. Junior Watson can imagine a harmonica solo and play just what you're going to play before you even thought of it.
You'll probably imagine a better solo than I can play anyways.
Yeah, just have the perfect backing part. But
You've played with and recorded with a who's who of the blues guitar and bass and drums world. What type of musicians are you looking for in the recording studio? Is it a mentality? Is it a certain school of playing?
yeah, definitely is. And it only comes one way, and that's from experience, you know. If you're new in the studio, there's a lot of bugaboos you gotta get over and watch out for, especially a drummer. A drummer's not going to feel very good in the confines of his little partitions, you know. Peeks his head over the top, he can see the other players. So I prefer a drummer who naturally plays soft and doesn't get nervous like, "Oh, I can't feel it. I gotta play a little bit louder." I've had those guys before, but a guy with a soft touch on the drums and a lot of patience to get the sound just right, and a decent drum set that doesn't creak, 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 creak. I've had plenty of problems with engineers hearing the phantom sound. And I don't hear nothing. Just go. No, listen. Bass drum pedal. But, you know, that's trivial stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what I like out of a drummer. A bass player, I'm partial to the upright. Maybe not on every song, but the music that I like to play the best and the music that I hope to record in the future sounds to me better with an upright bass. It just has a different set of dynamics for the whole rest of the band, you know.
And we did a gig recently for the Harmonica Masterclass workshop. We worked with Kid Anderson on the guitar. Do you think he would be a good choice for this project if you'd like to?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, kid's the man to work with. I'll tell you, he can really put out production. You know, I'm surprised how the Greaseland label has put out a couple of good products. I thought the Estrin record sounded pretty good.
Would you be open to recording in his studio if he has the time?
Sure. You know, it's a mess in there, but that doesn't bother me because every studio has character. You know.
Yeah.
If you can squeeze through the myriad of vintage amps to get to the bathroom, you're in good shape.
It sounds like my house. That's fine.
Yeah, no, kid I've recorded a little bit at Kids. He asked me to come down from some friends of his came from Finland, or they were his friends, and they thought that getting old Grandpa Gary on their record would be pretty cool. So
I'm sure it was.
So I came down and just did some backup stuff with them, you know, and the gremlins never showed up, which means to me that everything went smoothly, which is what never happens at a recording session. At one point, something goes wrong every time.
In regards to this project, I believe I started writing material around 2006 for this.
Yeah, you told me that before, and I was surprised at the passage of time.
Yeah. And for those of you, well, if you've been on bluesharmonica.com for a while, you know that Gary's been a contributor at the website since, well, December 2009 is when the website released. And before then, we got together, basically one of my lesson spots, Gary swings on down. We get a chance to play every couple of weeks.
I need a lesson.
I don't know about that. It's a mutual. I think I walk away with more at the end of the night than you do.
Many kinds, many levels of harmonica knowledge.
So when we get together, we were just jamming for a while. Then I brought up the idea of, what do you think about doing a project where we do 2 harmonica and 3 harmonica harmonies? You've been doing this for years. You've been doing this Up the Line, for example.
Yeah.
You've got Rocket Ride. That's got 3 parts. That's you, and Musselwhite.
It's me, and Musselwhite.
Oh, okay, so you do the opening 3 parts.
I do all the harmonies, and he basically came in and overdubbed his solo.
The first position solo, yeah.
Yeah.
The famous first position
The
solo.
famous first position solo that has a great story that we can tell sometime.
Okay, well, we'll do that in a couple of minutes then.
All right.
You've been doing these at live shows, though, like the San Francisco Blues Festival, Mazzolini's pre-harp shows as well.
Right.
His, what did he, Battle of the Blues Harps? Is that what it was called?
Harps, yeah, and then he would put 3 guys like me and Mitch Kashmar and Andy Santana together and say, okay, you guys make a tribute to Little Walter. Or we did Walter, and we did somebody else, a tribute to somebody else. I can't think of who it was, but that's how the 3 harp thing got started. I think Bird Hale came up with the name. Well, there's actually a song called the 3 Harp Boogie, but Bird wanted to make a band called the 3 Harp Boogie. And that one was with Curtis Salgado, me, and Bird. A wonderful combination.
Now, I also remember you bringing up the fact, I've known you since I was 16 years old, so that's a couple of years. And through the years, little by little, we would talk about this stuff, and you would usually lament the fact that guys would not prepare, and the end result was less than satisfactory.
Yeah.
And when I came to you, I believe I came with some candy saying, we will prepare. I will write good material. And we'll use some of the material that you've written too.
Yeah.
And you seem to like that idea of digging in and doing it right.
Yeah, it's a waste of time if you get a good idea and then you just kind of go, well, I kind of know it, and then you don't really know it. And
yeah.
If you're going to play something in a section, no matter what instrument it is, if you're going to play, what's the word, in a small ensemble.
Yeah. Ensemble playing.
You have to use your head, You have to, like I said a little bit earlier, you have to find a way to blend. Volume-wise, almost breathing-wise, you almost have to breathe at the same time, which is interesting. Okay, everybody, breathe. Play. But
I remember you mentioning vibratos too, being cautious about vibratos.
Yeah, guys like me, or like some singers you hear will put a vibrato on the last note no matter what it is. It's that's just the way their voice wiggles,
Yeah.
But a lot of guys, harmonica players, play with a lot of vibrato, me included. And if you're playing a note that's going like this against a harmony note that's going like this,
it's very unmusical sounding.
Now I use vibrato, but usually what I try to do when I'm playing with you is match it to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Is that, do you deem that acceptable?
It's hard to do, but yeah. I think it's better to, if you're going to do it, try and match it, and don't make it too much of the thing. A little vibrato goes a long way.
Good. So specifically for this project, what makes you interested in participating in this 3 generations of harmonica? Gary taught me, I taught Aki.
Well, the level of everybody's musicianship is what attracts me the most, because it makes me think that we could get it done, rather than a lot of wilder guys that I won't mention, that it becomes a hassle to pin them down, to get them to rehearse, to get them to do the subtle off note that they don't really hear, that's a half step flatter or
Sure. That's important for the harmony.
Yeah, it's very important.